Strap in, buckle up, and get ready to lay it on the line. This is Not Speeding, Just Qualifying, a podcast that's just as fast as it sounds. What's up, family? I'm David Lawrence. Welcome to an all-new episode of the Not Speeding, Just Qualifying podcast. I appreciate you for joining me today. Before I get started, make sure your qualifying setup is dialed in to take pole position. Hit that subscribe button on our YouTube channel or search Not Speeding, Just Qualifying in the podcast section of the YouTube Music app to subscribe to us today. On yesterday's show, my GT Report colleague Dylan Spaulding joined me as we discussed LMP2 and GT3 for this weekend's 24 Hours of Le Mans. Today, we conclude our preview to the race as I present part 2 of our conversation, picking up right where we left off as we focus on the marquee class of the race, Le Mans Hypercar. I began this portion of the conversation asking Dylan who is most likely to benefit from the pre-race balance of performance issued by the ACO last week prior to the test day. Here's Dylan's response.
This is tough. I'm going to go with Toyota.
Ooh. Why?
I think Toyota benefits. I don't know. I think the way they set up the BOP for them this year just fits so well for the Toyota team and the way they run. And I don't know. I just have a gut feeling that's going to be that Toyota benefits from what I saw with BOP. So.
Not a bad rationale. Can't blame you. I like that. And Toyota really has been trying, I feel like, been snake bit by BOP the last 2 years. My next question for you is, with this Valkyrie making its debut, what are your expectations for Aston Martin coming into this first Le Mans? Where do you see this car going? How do you think the car will fare? It didn't run Daytona. It's the only car in this field that hasn't done 24 hours at competitiveness. It did Sebring, which it passed that test for flying colors. It finished every WEC race so far. It's finished every race so far, IMSA or WEC. So what are your expectations for Heart of Racing and for Aston Martin and this Valkyrie coming into this Le Mans?
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, you obviously want to hope that they make it through. I think those are my expectations. Is really, and I won't even say expectations. Honestly, is like, I think the hope for the team is making it through this race. Like, I think that honestly is a win in itself. It shows that this car is able to, battle. It's able to endure these long races. It does help, I think, not having the hybrid system, because there's a lot less technically you have to deal with adding in the hybrid system. That definitely does add a little bit more of a little bit more advancement, if you will, in terms of the technicalities of the car. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't be. I mean, again, 21 cars in the field. It's a large field, obviously, right? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if one of them gets in the top 15, and I think that's a win in itself, right? Like, I would not be surprised if one of them does finish in the top 15. The question is which one. I'll go with the 0. Is it the 007 that made it to Hyperpole, or is it the 009? Can't remember. I forgot which one.
I have to check with you on.
I'll go with the 007 just because Harry Ticknell's in it and he's used to racing hypercars. He's done it before. We also have Tom Gamble, who's a pretty solid driver, and Ross Gunn, and obviously Platinum as well. Give me the 007 to finish in top 15. Obviously getting pulled for Le Mans is really just it's more a glamour thing than anything else, because it's 24 hours and right. That's forgotten in like an hour. So, yeah, give me the 007 to finish in the top 15. I think that's a win. I think if they can finish top 15, I think that's a win for this team, in my opinion. And I think they will, honestly. at least one of their cars. I'll say that. I don't know if the other car will have any problems or something, but I do think one of their cars will finish top 15. So I will go with that. I think that's what we're gonna see going into this weekend is the top 15 finish for one of the Astons. I mean, there will be a couple of cars that will fall out. It's bound to happen. So
I think the Aston Martin team will agree with you. I think that's a really modest assessment. I think they'll be very I think they'll probably aim a little bit more, but I think that's still a very modest goal for them.
I mean, they've exceeded expectations in every race that they've had. Even in IMSA, they've had impressive runs in IMSA. I've been very impressed with how this team has ran, and also, I mean, just Ian James, the way he's run the programs and everything like that. He's done a fabulous job. I've been very impressed. They picked the right team to run that Valkyrie. So
I couldn't agree more. And I'm glad that Ian actually gets to drive, because that means he can take his mind off the team running worries when he's
good for Ian, man. Good for Ian. He does run a lot in IMSA and in Hypercar. So it's cool to see him continuing to run. And I think it helps too when you have a driver owner, and you have somebody like that who not only is willing to get into the car, but also is behind the operations of the car. That always helps when you have somebody like that. So I think it's nice to have somebody like Ian who is committed not only from a driver perspective, but also from a team perspective as well. So,
all right. Real quick, last 2-3 questions I got for you. Number one, who is your dark horse pick?
It's a good question. Good question. I'm going to go with BMW.
I like that.
Everybody's been saying Alpine, and I think that would be just kind of the obvious choice. I'm going to go with BMW. Aston Martin, I will say this right now, isn't going to win this race. Porsche and Toyota are obviously heavy favorites. Cadillac, Jota is a heavy favorite. Ferrari's a favorite. Peugeot probably not going to win this. Peugeot's not the strongest team on the grid. And Proton, again, they're probably not going to... Although Porsche is always really strong, so they could podium potentially. But I don't know if they'll actually win the race. And then the two extra entries, the two extra Cadillacs, obviously, again, Cadillac's very strong. Although Wayne Taylor, obviously, this will be their first Le Mans. I think they're going to be trying to learn a lot in this race. Cadillac Wheeling, they've been in this race before. This is nothing new for them. So they'll be used to what is going to be happening. But I'm going to go with BMW. It's been a strong year for BMW overall. You got a very interesting driver lineup. Kevin Magnussen, you got K-Mag, Robin Freins, Trees, obviously, Rene Rast, Sheldon Vanderlyn, Rafael Marcelo. So I like BMW. I like what has happened this year on both sides of the pond, and I think that they will be a team that could potentially win this race. I mean, it's very possible BMW could shine this weekend. So we'll see. Again, they ran well at the Rolex. Obviously, this is a different ran team, but I do think BMW has a good shot of winning this weekend. So.
Complete this sentence. The driver in Hypercar who will be getting the most attention after Le Mans is blank. Hypercar.
Ooh. Damn. Okay, I'll put it this way. If they win, this is why he's going to get the most attention. And it's going to be Nick Tandy. And that's because he finishes a Triple Crown.
Oh.
Or Lawrence or Felipe. Well, Felipe and Nick will finish the Triple Crown. So it's either going to be Felipe, Nick, or Lawrence who will be the ones who I think would be the ones they would talk about. If we're talking outside of Porsche and we're just talking about drivers who would, I guess, be, kind of, I don't know, shine, if you will. Damn. I'll go with the Taylors, maybe. Maybe Wayne Taylor Racing has a solid run this weekend, and they kind of shine a bit. Coming over to US for the first time.
Nice.
That's more just because of, again, the notability of that. Again, it's hard, really. It's because it's such a team sport that it's hard to just pick a driver specifically that you can kind of highlight, but. Yeah, I mean, obviously, if the Porsches win, if it's Tandy or Felipe or even Lawrence, I think that's going to be a huge story, and those will definitely be the shining lights. And then, I'll go with the Taylors. I think, we'll see how they fare. I mean, it's exciting to see Wayne Taylor Racing and them going to Le Mans, and obviously getting a chance to talk to Wayne back in March about this entry and about the whole deal of everything going on. It was cool to hear his excitement about it. He was very pumped for it, so I'm looking forward to seeing how it's gonna fare out for them this weekend. It's obviously a massive deal. It's very highly anticipated for the team. So,
all right, here's the big question. You open up the paper, Monday morning's headlines. Fill in the blank. Blank wins Le Mans.
Oh, okay. Can I make the Le Mans headline? Can I adjust it to what it will be?
All right, go ahead. I knew you were going to. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay. Toyota tames Le Mans and secures overall victory. That's going to be my pick. I think Toyota's going to win it this year.
Got Toyota winning. I know you mentioned... All right, one more time real quick. I'll give you 30 seconds. Why Toyota?
I just don't know. It's going to be very hard for Ferrari to go 3P. I think it's just obvious. I mean, it's very possible it could happen. They're a strong team at this track. But I think it's going to be very, very challenging for them. Obviously, it'd be quite a story to see Alpine or Peugeot winning, given that it's their home track, technically. But I just like Toyota, man. I think they're a team that they need kind of that signature win, and they've never won Le Mans. So,
well, not never.
Well, that's true. You're right. They have never. They have won Le Mans, but it would be cool to see them win it again. I'll say that. So
there we go.
Yeah, that's what's gonna be in the headline. Toyota tames Le Mans and secures overall victory. So.
Man. All right, Dylan. Here's an easy question. Where can we find you on your socials?
Yes, you can find me on _Spaulding3. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter. I'm on Facebook as well, although I don't use Facebook very much. Obviously, you can go find all my work at GT Report. I also do work for an ARCA team, City Garage Motorsports. We'll be racing this weekend at Berlin Raceway, so keep an eye out on that. You can follow us there at CG Motorsports FL for all of our news and updates coming up here as the team travels to Berlin Raceway. So exciting stuff happening with the team. And yeah, man, thanks for having me on. Really happy to be here with you, David. Obviously, me and you have gotten to know each other over the last couple of months, actually through IMSA and through meeting up at a race. And been very fortunate to get to know you and get to interact with you over these last handful of months. And I know you feel the same way with me as well. So, and now we get to do stuff for GT Report and covering sports car racing, so nothing better than it. So it's been a lot of fun, brother.
Hey, brother, I second that. It's been a thrill, and getting to know you these last few months has been a blast. Dylan, appreciate you for coming on, talking with me for the last half hour or so about the 93rd running of the 24 Hours of Le Mans. Catch it all on Motor Trend this weekend. I'll give you more on the back end of this, but Dylan Spaulding on the Not Speeding Just Qualifying podcast. Dylan, thanks a million, my friend.
You're welcome, sir. Appreciate
it. Special thanks to Dylan for joining me to help break down the 3 classes ahead of this weekend's race. It's Friday, all the practice and qualifying is done. The only thing left to do is turn them loose for the 24 hours. The Tricolor, better known as the French national flag, which is used to start the race, as opposed to the traditional green flag, will fly at 4 p.m. Central European Time on Saturday. That's 10 a.m. Eastern Time here, 7 a.m. if you find this and you're listening out on the West Coast. Here in the United States, as I mentioned at the closing of the interview, you can watch the race in its entirety, flag to flag, on the Motor Trend Network, pre-race coverage beginning at 9:30 a.m. Eastern. You can also stream the race on Max, the Warner Bros. Discovery streaming service. If you want the entire race with no ads, you can subscribe to the FIA World Endurance Championships direct-to-consumer over-the-top streaming service, FIAWEC.tv, where there is a Le Mans-only package available for €17.99 or $21 US. I know, paying may not be your most desirable option, but as a sports car fan, I will say the investment will be well worth it to see the best in the world battle for automotive supremacy. I hope you all are looking forward to this weekend just as much as I am. Before we get into our outlap, you heard Dylan mention he does media for City Garage Motorsports in the ARCA Menard series. Make sure you catch City Garage Motorsports Saturday night in the ARCA Menard series race in Berlin, Michigan. Coverage begins at 7:30 Eastern over on FS1. Now here's the rest of this week's outlap as we preview the upcoming motorsports weekend and where you can watch these series here in the United States. SRO Japan Cup kicks off their 2025 campaign at Sportsland Sugo. Watch all the action Saturday and Sunday. Stream it on the GT World YouTube channel. The TCR World Tour is in Valencia for the Race of Spain. Saturday and Sunday coverage, you can stream it all on the TCR TV YouTube channel. The FIM World Superbike Championship is in Misano for the Emilia-Romagna round of the championship. Watch all the coverage Sunday on Racer Network. If you want practice qualifying and live racing as it happens, subscribe to stream on World Superbike Video Pass. Formula One is in Montreal for the Canadian Grand Prix. Watch live coverage of the race Sunday on ABC. Formula One Academy is also in Canada. Saturday and Sunday races, you can stream it on the F1 Academy YouTube channel. The NTT IndyCar Series is at Worldwide Technology Raceway for the Bommarito 500. Coverage commences Sunday night. You can see it all live on Fox. AMA Pro Motocross is at High Point in Mount Morris, Pennsylvania. Catch all the action Saturday, stream it live exclusively on Peacock. Rounding out our weekend preview, NASCAR is in Mexico City. Catch the NASCAR Xfinity Series Saturday on the CW. And Sunday, catch the first Cup Series points race held outside of the United States since 1958. Stream it on Amazon Prime Video. All right, family, that's our episode. Thank you for tuning in. Are you listening and have a topic or series you want us to cover on the show? Drop a comment on any of our episodes and let us know. You can also reach out to us by email at dalmotorsports@gmail.com. That email address again, dalmotorsports@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you. We would also love for you to connect with us on social media. We are on Blue Sky, X, Instagram, and TikTok, all at the same handle at NSJQ Podcast. Subscribe to our show so you don't miss whenever we drop new content for the pod. Also, like and share our stuff. The more you like and share, the more YouTube will start recommending our episodes to others. Lastly, if you want to follow me on my personal social media handles, links to those will be in the description box to this episode in the show notes. I'll talk to you next time for another episode of the Not Speeding, Just Qualifying podcast. Until then, I'm David Lawrence. Always remember, you're not living life to the fullest until you're going flat out. So long, everyone.